Do you ever think about your journey and you say, how did I end up making this, like doing this kind of job? What got me to this point? And I was thinking this also when it comes to English, because I am not a native speaker and I ended up teaching a language which is not my own. And so I said, how did I do it? Like, what were the reasons? Why did I become good in English? I never had the necessity of learning English to survive, because I never went to New Zealand or Australia or the United States, etc., etc., etc. So why did I learn English? 5 core points which maybe you can relate to, and it's very curious if you analyze yourself after years, because it could have been any other language, but for some reasons English clicked. So the very first reason, it's stupid. I don't have a single memory of hating English. Yes, frustration with the language, absolutely. So many times I felt frustrated and I've always said, oh my God, this is so difficult. This is so hard to understand. I can't grasp this grammar rule or this difference. But I've never hated it. And I know that some people experience real hatred. Some people really don't like learning languages. And this is completely normal in my opinion. When I listen to people getting excited about certain things, I really can't understand them. And this is probably the same for other people when I talk about languages. It shouldn't come as a surprise that we all share different hobbies and interests. And some things can be really, really appealing to me, and maybe somebody else thinks that's BS. One really important thing is we should never tell somebody that their interests or their hobbies are stupid, because if that drives that person or makes that person happy, as long as it doesn't hurt you or harm you in any way, why bother or why make fun of somebody? Every one of us is different, and for me, learning languages has always been very, very interesting. The second point is more of an episode, and probably this episode changed also my perspective. I went to the airport when I was 14. I was the only English-speaking person. It's very difficult for me now to evaluate what my level was. Probably I was some sort of B1, maybe. But I have never spoken English with anyone. Nobody. Zero. So I went to the airport with my family and a flight attendant approached us and she started speaking English very fast. Your flight is delayed 2 hours, blah, 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 blah. And everyone was looking at me and I was like, I only understood delayed flight. Like those were the 2 words, and also 2. Like I understood 3 words out of I don't know how many sentences. And she repeated it and then we talked with somebody else. But in that situation, Paulina, a 14-year-old Paulina, understood that English is important to live in this world, because it's not maybe the lingua franca. We're getting there. It's like English is essential to communicate. So I told myself, I probably need this language. There must be a motivation of some sorts. And I'm not talking about motivation as in, oh, tomorrow I will wake up and I'm going to have this burning desire. You need a reason. And one of the reasons why I became a teacher, I never planned to become an English teacher. My aim was to become a maths teacher, which changed very quickly when I went to high school. But I really wanted to become a teacher. That has always been within me. I've always loved to teach, but I've never wanted to teach English. And something which really helped me, having very good teachers. Unfortunately, I was very lucky because in Italy it's not the norm to have teachers who inspire you and motivate you and make you interested in the language or in the subject. I can't say that all teachers are bad, all teachers are good. All I can say is, in my experience, I was very lucky. I have a very loving memory about them. I sincerely want to thank the biggest majority of them. English was never this sort of terrible subject and we were just given handouts and learn. We were always explained everything, as we should. Having a teacher who loves the language, understands the language, and also changing it up with theater plays and also music and sometimes a movie, sometimes some TV shows. It was interesting to me. I was always looking forward to English lessons. It was like a break from all the other subjects. So this point, I want to match it with number 1, which is I always loved English. Point number 4 is university. I went to university in Poland and it was English philology. 3 years during which I attended the university and the faculty every single day, of course with the exception of weekends, but I went to university basically every day. I listened to English the whole time, all the lectures. 90% of the lectures were in English. I did practical English, so grammar, vocabulary, idioms. I have forgotten so many subjects. Wait, I can show you. Wait. Okay, basically 6 semesters, 1,576 hours, mode of study full time. This is the most practice I've ever had with English. And basically we have American background, British background, introduction to foreign language acquisition and teaching, introduction to linguistics, conversation, and then every single semester I had practical English, which was writing, reading, practical phonetics, practical English grammar, listening, integrated skills, and conversation. Like I had conversation practice, like that was a class. And I also had physical education. I forget about it. So yes, it's luck, it's loving the language, it's having good teachers, but it's also many hours of practice. And I'm not gonna lie, the university period was the most stressful of my life. The second most stressful of my life. So this is also a core part of why I can speak English, and deciding to study that meant that I completely devoted my time to learning a language. So yeah, this is definitely one of the pillars and one of the main reasons why I speak English as I do today. And at the beginning of the video, I told you I have 5 reasons. Maybe other people who are in my same situation might agree. I am quite sure that being a bilingual, so speaking 2 languages in your household, like genuinely being used to speaking more than a language, it's definitely something which kick-started everything. I had this ambivalent situation. Speaking Italian at school with friends, with teachers, and then getting back home, and my parents have always tried to teach me Polish. And in that, they succeeded because I can easily communicate in Polish. Even the fact of speaking 2 languages on a daily basis, every single day, seriously, it probably did something to my brain. I'm quite sure of that. I was more curious about languages also because of this. But I would never say that all bilinguals are great in English. But from my personal perspective, I have definitely had this kind of unfair advantage of already knowing 2 different languages from 2 different families. Italian is from Latin and Polish is a Slavic language. In Italian, we have terrible conjugation when it comes to verbs, but the vocabulary is mainly Latin. It's very frequent in English. And for example, in Polish, the pronunciation and the phonetics is there's declension, which is another type of nightmare. So having these differences between Italian and Polish, it made me probably more flexible, and it also added to my interest in learning another language, which is from another family. So I would love to say that being a bilingual probably had an impact on me being more flexible and more aware that a language can really differ from another. And yeah, these are my 5 most important things. And worth mentioning are also the fact that I love TV shows. I've always been extremely curious to learn music lyrics, so whenever I listen to songs, and also social media and the variety of content we can find now online. And alright, I hope you liked this video. Let me know if you are studying English. Let me know what is helping you learn English. Thanks again. I will see you soon with a very interesting video. If you like this type of content, please let me know leave a thumbs up and subscribe. I never tell you to do that, but sometimes I love to remind you, and thank you for all your support. It means the world to me. Thank you. I will see you soon.